Welcome back. In our last module, we made an introduction to the 4 sectors of business activity. In this module, we'll be taking a deeper look at the impact of sectoral changes on business activity. And so to make a start, the size of each sector of the economy will typically change because countries will grow and develop. And economists usually measure the size of each sector in terms of the number of people employed in that sector. A common trend we see is that more developed economies typically see social technology and the economy develop in tandem. They develop together. What that means is that as the economy develops, social technology improves. And as social technology improves, the economy develops. It creates a sort of cycle. So while raw material extraction is usually achievable with a large number of low-skilled workers, we often observe more of this activity in underdeveloped and developing economies. Whereas for more developed economies, we see a higher number of skilled workers employed in the quaternary sector as opposed to the primary sector. So as social technology improves, the economy moves up this hierarchy of sectors. On the other hand, we can't confuse technological development as being linear. What that means is that technological innovations in one area, such as the development of word processors on computers, can make other technologies obsolete, such as typewriters. As a consequence, people who are trained in computerized word processors will often replace people who become obsolete, such as typists. The trade-off is that while many occupations go obsolete, you have new occupations that emerge, which are often perceived as being more advanced or requiring higher skill. So it's very well known that businesses that can anticipate and adapt to changing environments do really well. For example, while most developed economies have moved away from the primary sector, Australia is one economy where the primary sector is still thriving, namely because of wine production and mining. Another great example of this is Germany. While Germany is known to be a very high-skilled society with a lot of people trained in the quaternary and the tertiary sectors, think about your BMWs, your Mercedes-Benz, and your Audis. Its high-quality engineering means that Germany still has a very strong secondary sector despite improvements in its tertiary and quaternary sectors. As a general rule though, you will observe countries reduce their activities in the primary and secondary sectors as they progress into more advanced economies, taking on tertiary and quaternary responsibilities. For low-income economies, development tends to result in a shift from the primary to secondary sector, and as developing economies grow, they transition from having a mostly secondary sector, progressing into a majority tertiary and quaternary sector. Now, there are a number of challenges that come with changing the weighting of each sector. One of these big challenges is resource strain. For example, as an economy shifts from focusing on the secondary sector into the tertiary and quaternary sectors, they might find that they are short on qualified personnel and need to invest in human resource training. In addition, financial resources are likely to be diverted from one sector to another too, and this needs to be done efficiently or else both sectors are likely to collapse. Other challenges also include poor legislation and protection against the environment as economies shift from the primary to the secondary sector, and you'll often find that manufacturing firms in developing countries often do far more damage to the environment because of poor regulation than manufacturers in developed economies because of their stronger regulation. That concludes this module. See you soon.